In today's gaming society, games are judged on gameplay. But what happens when we take an old game and bring it to the present to be judged? Could it live up to our standards, or would it fall short? My name's Deity, and in today's video, we'll be taking a look at Sonic Adventure Director's Cut and asking the question, does it age? So the game will be judged on 5 elements: storytelling, graphics, gameplay, soundtrack, and how memorable it was. Oh, and careful for spoilers. So at Sonic Adventure, you play as 6 protagonists, each one having their own mini-story in the game. Sonic and Tails are chasing down Eggman, while Knuckles is searching for pieces of the Master Emeralds to restore it to its original form. Amy is looking to reunite Birdie with his parent, and Big is looking for his dear friend Froggy, while E102 Gamma is looking to destroy the other E100 series robots. But this often leads our heroes to clash, like Sonic and Knuckles. To add, the story often overlaps and just makes no sense at all. Then we have the last story being where all our heroes come together to defeat perfect chaos. So in my opinion, I believe that Sega made Sonic Adventure story very easy to follow, but had you asking many questions all of the time. For example, Big the Cat's whole entire story. Why was I fishing for that boy? I meant Froggy. Why is this relevant to the main story at all? What is Big's backstory? The main thing with Sonic Adventure I feel is annoying is the only people who really are important to the story are Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. What is the point in having other characters if they often feel bare minimum to the story, if any at all, honestly? But honestly, Sonic's story was probably the best because it was simple and it was what the fans were used to, just in 3D. While it isn't an award-winning story, it gets the point across, but with a lot of flaws that I don't have time to cover in this video, but as a whole, the game story receives a 5 out of 10 from me. When looking at graphics from 2003 and comparing them to Sonic Adventure, you'll find that Sonic Adventure had very great graphics for this time. Even today, Sonic Adventure has better graphics than some games out there. For example, Black Ops 3 for 360 and PS3. Not to mention, if you add mods to Sonic Adventure DX on PC, you can make it look even better. The game's graphics only had a few problems here and there. For example, the lip syncing for characters were awful, and at times the characters' movements and cutscenes seemed forced and stiff, making it weird to watch while not breaking from the immersion. The game's environments could have used a little more detail, but as a whole, the game's graphics were not perfect, but I would give it a 7 out of 10. When taking a look at Sonic Adventure games, we have to break it down into multiple categories: control, level design, enemies, bosses, and camera. So first, taking a look at control. Sonic Adventure's controls, while not perfect for all characters, it does work for about half. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all play the same while feeling nice and easy to move, having easing controls, and overall just a fun feeling to play with them. While Amy felt lackluster in terms of speed, losing speed if she turned, and not having a fast speed at all, honestly. Then there's Big, which if you count the fishing as controls, then honestly, it was awful. The controls were hard to manage and just an annoyance at all times. E102 Gamma was sort of the bridge between Amy, Big, Sonic, and the game. He controlled pretty fast, but not as fast as Sonic, therefore making it perfect for the shooting style they gave him. Moving on to level design, it was honestly amazing for all characters. It highlighted the playstyle of each character, and the only thing that I think was a bad choice was making Tails and Sonic have the same levels. Giving Tails the ability to fly but also have him go through the same levels as Sonic made it easy for Tails to clear many stages without having to even touch the ground. When it came to enemies in Sonic Adventure, I felt as though enemies didn't have much of a presence, but it also was nice to see them in the game. For many Sonic fans, it was just nice to see them come over, or at least some come over to the 3D world. Bosses in Sonic Adventure made a good probably 35% of the game, so they needed to be good, right? That's just what this game did. All bosses were nice and fun, except for the Egg Viper, because, well, fuck him and all the deaths he caused me. The last thing we need to talk about is the camera. So when looking at it, it was bad. No, but for real, it was bad. It was a little bit better than Sonic 06. It just wasn't that good. It felt often, a lot of times I had to fight the camera angle in certain areas. So when we take a look at all these things and take it into account, I would give the gameplay a 6 out of 10. When it comes to Sonic Adventure, the soundtrack is honestly the best of any Sonic game. Now, while some might disagree, I believe all the action stage songs are more memorable than the other Sonic game soundtracks. There isn't honestly much for me to say about this. This can receive a perfect 10 out of 10, but if you don't believe me, here's some of my hand-picked favorite Sonic songs from Sonic Adventure. Now when thinking about a game like Sonic, I asked myself, was it memorable? The simple answer is yes, but a lot more could be said. What's not to like, from snowboarding down a mountain to going supersonic and beating chaos? Honestly, there is so much about this game that was memorable, to the point that I could go on for hours about what I remember from it. But with that being said, it would get a 9 out of 10 from me. So reviewing Sonic Adventure nearly 20 years later, this game still holds up for me, and I think my final verdict would be an 8 out of 10. Yes, the game isn't perfect by any means, but it is, at its core, fun. And that's what it's all about when playing games. Now I know that might be the cheap way out in a review, but honestly, that's what it's about. No matter what I say or anyone else says, if you're having fun, keep playing. So with that being said, it's been Deity Nova. Subscribe to become a demigod today, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.